The first thing that I wanted to mention about Agni Mani that I like the most about it is that it's very subtle, but the power of it is clear. Now, what I mean by this is like why I like the subtle nature of its energy is because I'm in a place in my life where I've been learning a lot about certain things that I've been doing in my life and that other people kind of do too, and something that is kind of an unconscious behavior. And I realized that for me, there's all these different stories around you. You know, the story of your job, the story of your relationships, the story of your identity and how you feel about yourself, the story of what kind of clothes you wear, the story of there's all these different stories, big and small. But I've begun to realize that I have had like an identification with a lot of stories and had this certain idea of myself. Now, fast forward a little bit into the conversation with Agni Mani, what I really like about this energy is that it doesn't have this crazy momentum to it that feels like it's coming in and sweeping me off my path and bringing me into a new story. So sometimes I notice that there's certain energies and things going on in my life that they have this kind of momentum to it. It has the vibe to it of, and I'd love to hear if you guys know what I mean by this. It's one of those things that's a little bit more challenging to explain, but it's got this vibe to it where sometimes it comes in and it's like this new idea, this new spiritual idea, or this new story, or this new crystal, or this new whatever comes in and it almost like lifts you up and says, it's this very positive energy. You feel all this energy moving around you and it lifts you up and it says, hey, this is your salvation over here. Like it almost feels like this energy comes in and is beckoning you, saying, hey, you are now being put on this path of far more power and far more tuning into yourself. And I always really loved stuff like that, these energies that really feel like they really shift your reality. And Agni Mani isn't like that for me. For me, it's not like that. Agni Mani is very subtle. It's peaceful. It's not coming in and shifting you. You know, Agni Mani is very powerful for manifestation, and I can sense it very clearly now. I just wasn't quite ready to sense that before. But you know what I've been realizing with this energy? And it's not just Agni Mani. I mean, this is an overarching theme that I'm exploring in my life currently. My power is not over there. That's not where my power is. It's right here. Right here. You know what I'm saying? Like right here, right now, this is where I am. I am. I'm right here. And I've been realizing that I have been someone who's very sensitive to energy my whole life. And I tend to really gravitate towards things with big positive energy to them. Like, oh yeah, like this is so awesome. Like I feel that sensation of energy and I love it because it feels like it's constantly improving my life. But I love that this is subtle. And I like that it doesn't have this momentum to it that's pushing or pulling me. Because I've been realizing for me, and I might not be 100% right about this. I might, you know, every single day I'm becoming more and more in alignment with what I'm speaking about. And so the way I speak about it in the future might change. I don't know. But what I feel right now is that this momentum, it's like an illusion. It's like this ego gratification that I've been doing for a long time, where it's like very gratifying to the ego. When things happen the way you want them to, you feel good, you feel happy. But there's this conditional nature to it, because the reason you feel good is because whatever's currently happening right now in this moment, it's like, you're like, yeah, this is what I want to be experiencing. This is what I like, you know, I approve of this, whatever's happening, because it matches the stories that I identify with, that I'm attached to. And so you see, there's this momentum that clearly says to you, hey, that story that you like, that story that you adhere to, you know, the story you tell yourself, your ideas of the way things are supposed to be, this energy, this has this momentum. It's going to help you expand that and make that bigger. It's going to help you get more success in your life. It's going to help you become more powerful. Again, the overarching background energy of your salvation is over there. And I've been realizing that that's an illusion for me. because my power is right here, right now. And so let's talk a little bit more about Agni Mani, aside from just, this theme that I'm exploring right now and learning a little bit more about. It's very powerful for manifestation. And I'm certain that if you look up other videos and information about it, you'll see that I'm not the only one who's saying this. To me, though, what's so powerful about it is the presence that comes with it. That is the energy that it emanates. See, I've learned that all crystals emanate this kind of frequency of energy. Same way that I'm out in the woods right now. It's got a different feeling than when I was in the desert. You go to a city, it feels different than the beach. And so everything has a different energy. My dog Lightning right there, you see, he's got a different energy than my dog Spring right behind this camera. I've got a different energy than Ruby. You guys have met in videos probably. And so it's the same with crystals. They've got a different vibe. And I've noticed that the vibe that is the one of Agni Mani, it doesn't want to sweep you off your path. It doesn't want to coat you in this energy of like bliss and, sweeping you up and, everything you want is over here. Come on, come on. It doesn't have that vibe to it. It doesn't feel like I'm being carried somewhere else. It feels like I'm being more so reflected that right here is where my power is. The energy of Agni Mani, it's not positive. It's not negative either. It just is. The more I tune into Agni Mani, the more I get this like deep sense. It's almost like I like have these visions, these hits, these downloads. And I get this deep sense that everything that, like all this amazing stuff, I can feel it coming. But it's interesting because a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, I don't feel like super excited about it or bummed about it. It's like this deep neutral feeling of like, yeah, this is me. This is who I am. It's like I'm tuning deeper into who I am. And by tuning deeper into who I am, I can see more clearly from the isness without attaching all these labels to everything or clinging to any kind of story that makes me feel good. Because I'm right here, right now. And the Agni Mani has this powerful eminence to it. And I like how it reflects that. I like how it helps symbolize that to me. I like how I can focus on it and tune into this. It's like this very buzzing sensation. So I want to clarify something. You can definitely feel the energy of Agni Mani. I get this like buzzing sensation. When I say it's subtle is that it doesn't feel like it's like pulling you off into these crazy visions or pulling you over here like you get sometimes. I feel like I'm just seeing more clearly in general from a neutral, natural position where I don't need to assert myself over life. And even when I go on hikes, like I used to do this thing, this is one of the transitions and transformations I've been having. I used to do this thing where I'm really excited and I talk to my partner a lot, like while we're on hikes, like, oh, Ruby, like I've been having these cool visions. I've been feeling this. I can really tell that this cool manifestations are coming. These are all these dimensions I'm tuning into. It's interesting. It's like, I'm not really doing that as much since this new kind of place in my story that I'm at. It's like I don't need to talk about it. I don't feel much of a drive to share it or to get super excited and feel really good about the fantasy story I'm playing out in my mind. It's more like I'm able to keep my attention, my power, and my energy to myself, to let the seeds of whatever it is that are being planted within me grow. Before going off and trying to show my prize-winning plants, I let them grow. I realize that there's a lot of information I'm throwing down. This is my experience report here with Agni Mani, and I do have a video on its way that's going to be talking about the top 10 metaphysical benefits of Agni Mani. So I think it would be pretty cool if anybody here resonates or wants to follow along with these video series that are coming out. It would be awesome. Grab a piece of Agni Mani from your local crystal person. It's really not an expensive one. A few things I do want to mention real quick before diving back into a little bit more information you might think is cool about the Agni Mani. I do sell some pretty large pieces like the one I have here on my store below. I do appreciate anybody who buys their stuff from me because it supports my life and it supports the channel, and I appreciate it. But you don't have to get it from me. A small piece will do you just fine. And in my personal opinion, and this just depends on your perspective, everything is within us. Everything. You know, it's everything in reality externally, and like that. I mean, this I'm holding to the Agni Mani, the forest, different relationships. I've been noticing that they really are just reflecting certain aspects of myself that are already right here, right now. So you can tune into that, and you are right now. Even if you don't have Agni Mani and you're watching this video and you're following along in this conversation, you're reflecting to yourself the very same thing. So you don't need Agni Mani, is one of the things that I like to mention sometimes. This is a power that is yours. And Agni Mani is very, very awesome for helping us. There's all these different stories going on around me constantly. And I've been noticing that a lot of them have this momentum to them where it feels like it's pushing and pulling me in different directions. And that's my first clue where I realized that that's not me. Because me, I'm right here. So anything that push or pulls me or says, hey, come over here, what you're looking for is over here, or hey, your salvation's over there. I personally, to me, it's an illusion. It's not real. Because there are these certain things that come up, thoughts, hits, downloads, visions within me, feelings, sensations, motivations. But they're neutral. They feel normal because it's me. It doesn't feel like super and pulling me this way because it's me. It's already me. It's who I am. You see, so things that have this momentum to them, this is one of the things I've been learning here. It's not me. And so it's awesome because I feel like I'm able to cut through so much noise that I didn't understand was existing before. I was just lots of ups and downs in my life, lots of over here's, over there's, lots of lefts and rights, not 100% sure what I wanted to do. Then I think I do. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is the one. And then my mind changes. And I've been realizing there's so much energy and momentum and noise and pushing and pulling going on around us. And so when something pushes and pulls you or says that it's over there, for me, that's my clue that okay, that's not mine. That's some story that I'm sure would love to have me give it my attention and energy and fuel it and make it bigger, because why not? But it's not me, because I'm right here, and I am right here, and I am neutral. You see? So this is something that might not be the reflection you get from Agni Mani. I'm going to be totally straight up and say, hey, you know, this is something that I was already tuning into and learning about. And then Agni Mani showed up in my life and further emphasizes it. So, you know, that's some cool information about the law of attraction, how we draw things to ourselves that are a vibrational match for us. And I can see that that might be why I wasn't quite ready to fully tune in to Agni Mani previously in my life. Because I was very pulled by positive momentum. I loved positive momentum. If it feels really, really good, it's pulling me. I love it. And I'm in this place now where it's like, things, I generally feel good and move towards things that feel good, but the good feeling isn't this cloud of like illusion and momentum. What feels good to me is the just natural joy of being here and being alive and watching my story unfold. And when you can get your good feeling and your joy from that kind of place, from the beingness, from the isness within you, then you're in a very unconditional place. And what I've been learning is when you don't give so much of your attention and energy to all these different stories, suddenly you have so much more energy to yourself. And I can hear myself better. And I'm extremely powerful. I mean, the synchronicity, the divine timing, it's like I keep ending up in the right place at the right time lately. And it's like all these amazing things from just in life in general are blooming and being given to me. And I get this deep sense from the neutral version of me within myself, who just is, who isn't attached, positive or negative, just is. I get this deep sense from this part of myself that these amazing things have always been being given to me. But I was too caught up in the story in my head and all this momentum and pushing and pulling to be here to receive it. Because right here is where it's being given to us. And again, I would like to let you know that, I'm not an enlightened master. So, these are my reflections and what I'm learning. And if there's anything I've learned on a really deep level, it's don't follow someone else's story or believe that what someone else is saying is the correct truth for you too. I'm learning maybe we listen a little bit more to that neutral isness within us. Maybe. Agni Mani is awesome, guys. If you've worked with Agni Mani, let me know below. What is your favorite benefit and effect that you experience with Agni Mani in your life? And for all my crystal loving friends out there that are like, oh, Nathan's making crystal videos again. Hey, I don't know for how long. I don't know forever. I'm in the isness. There's this neutral unfolding that happens when I'm relaxed and being myself. This is what's happening right now. If you've got some cool recommendations of crystals you'd like to see some videos on, let me know below. Much love, everyone. I do my best to reach out and say hi to you guys in the comments, but I am kind of taking part in some other different energies going on in my life right now. So you might notice I'm not around as much in those ways, but I still love you guys. Still think you're awesome. Feel you all the time. Much love. Nathan out.